What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, back again to get another gun review for you guys this week. So for those of you guys who saw the SSP-5 video a couple of weeks ago, today we're going to be going over the Novritsch SSP-2. So this is one of the newest models introduced into the range, or the line should I say, and that is the SSP-2, which is this compact little beast right here. So obviously, for those of you guys who have been following Novritsch's sort of journey and, you know, the way he's been growing in the sort of airsoft world, the SSP series is starting to show signs of being one of those ranges that are basically just going to have a whole bunch of different variants to it, obviously each one with their own specific purpose, and each one of them coming out cooler than the last one. So obviously, if you guys remember the SSP-5 being the slightly longer two-part barrel version of this, essentially. So the lower receivers are very similar, but obviously still quite different. The lower receiver in the SSP-5, if I remember correctly, ends right about here. So slightly longer chassis as such, but still a nice and compact slide. So internally speaking, on the SSP-2, these are KJ Works as their OEM, as are most of his gas blowback pistols. Most of them are made by KJ Works. So internally speaking, everything that you're going to find in a KJ Works is what you're going to find in these series of weapons. Now, not to say there's anything wrong with that. KJ Works has proven themselves years and years and years. Nothing wrong with their weapons. However, locally here in the country, spares for them are a little bit harder to come by than most, but it is still available. And obviously, you know, KJ Works is not really known for being one of those guns that break on a regular basis, so you're not going to have too much to worry about. So, like I said, internally, that's all there is to it. There's not a whole lot I can say. It is still very much your standard 2011 sort of internals. Obviously, you know, the triggers are ever so slightly different to what you're going to find in a standard KJ Works, and of course, snappy as all hell. No KJ Works does that, so these do have upgraded recoil springs and that sort of thing. So still very easy to pull, but of course, hella snappy. And obviously, this is to keep up with the fire rate that comes out of these weapons. So super awesome little weapons. Externally speaking, very different to what you're going to see pretty much everywhere. So starting off with the ambidextrous safety, which of course on the 2011s or the 1911s, no, 2011s, on the 2011 chassis, you cannot engage the safety unless, of course, your hammer is in the rear position. So yeah, ambidextrous on that, so if both you left and right-handed shooters are not going to have an issue there, but that's pretty much as far as it goes. Your slide release, while proud and does have this sort of flared paddle on it, so it does make it a little bit easier to get to, it is only on the left-hand side of the weapon, so a right-handed shooter pretty much is only going to be able to use that unless, of course, you as a lefty have figured out some way of doing that. Mag release, still only on the left-hand side, so no ambi there, but of course, externally still a whole lot of changes in comparison to the SSP-5, which ironically, due to the numbers, you would think that this is a slightly older model, but it is not. So you do have this, I'm not exactly 100% sure what the actual name of this sort of grip is called, but for the sake of the video, we're just going to go ahead and say the fish scale grip, which is not harsh on the hands. Even without gloves, it's really quite comfortable. It's nice and beefy. It's got a nice texture to it, so you're not going to slip and slide all over that. Your slide serrations or stippling as such are these almost hexagon patterns going on here on the slide, so there's no actual serrations as such like what we used to on most pistols. Iron sights are ever so slightly different. I believe there is a mod that you can get for this where you remove the iron sight and put one of those side charging handles. And the reason why you want to do that, and that's obviously moving on to the rest of this pistol, is like the SSP-5, it does come out with these 5 holes on either side of your chassis, which are already pre-threaded, ready to go. So you can fit your optics, not optic sights, your optic rails onto these. There's a holster adapter that you get for it that goes onto the one side here in case you don't want to use it with a standard, you know, sort of hard shell universal holster. If you want to use it with specific Novritsch holster, it does come with, well, you have to get the adapter for that, but obviously it does come with the holes already there, so you don't have to do any sort of marking or modifications there. And of course, if you do put on the sight rail, you're obviously not going to be using your iron sight here, in which case you'd want to put that sidebar, you know, if you're doing a sort of speed gun build. Externally, again, on the barrel, it does not have a free floating barrel, so obviously this barrel stays 100% in place. It does not move. So this is awesome in the fact that you're running traces or suppressors and that sort of thing. It is going to be compatible. You're not going to have slide lockups or anything like that. As you can see, it stands 100%, I very nearly cursed there, it stands 100% solid in the gun. It's not going to move anywhere. This, however, does become a problem when you want to start doing maintenance, because obviously you're going to need to remove that little bolt out of there. Your compensator will then slide off, and then obviously you can take the gun down like normal. So obviously for field stripping, if something should go wrong, you get a little bit of dust or anything like that inside your gun, cleaning it on the fly is not going to be the easiest thing out there, but it can be done. But overall they've sacrificed that in order to give you the option to have a suppressor or tracer or whatever it is, muzzle device that you want to put on here that's not going to be affect the performance of the weapon or get you guys jammed up or anything like that. It's literally just designed so that you can customize this pistol. Essentially, the SSP-5 and the SSP-2s are these sort of pistols that you're not really going to leave standard. They're not really designed for that. I can't believe I'm actually saying it, but a weapon that's coming from the factory designed to be modified, this is it. So yeah, awesome little features, as well as your hop-up adjustment on top of the barrel there. I don't know if you guys can see them. Just get a little bit closer to the camera. So you see the little Allen cap right there, or the little grub screw on top of the barrel. That is your hop-up adjustment. So unlike previous 2011s or pretty much any other pistol out there to adjust the hop where you had to take the slide off, you don't have to do that anymore. Literally fire your shot, see what it's doing, adjust your hop-up accordingly, and fire again. You don't need to take the weapon down. So pretty damn awesome little feature. And like I said, these things are hella snappy. And of course, performance wise, I haven't really tested the full range on one of these, but I do know a few people that have run these and actually are running them in game, and they love them. So effective range, you're looking at about 30 to 40 odd meters effectively, depending on what BB weight it is that you're running. BB weight, my word, my English this morning is terrible, guys, I apologize. So yeah, according to what BB weight it is that you're going to be running, your effective range is anywhere between 35 to 40 odd meters, coming in at roughly right about 1.3 to 1.4 joules, depending on what gas it is that you're running. So when we tested ours, we were running it on propane, and that came in at 1.36 joules, and that is insane for a pistol. Obviously, understanding locally, pistols do not have an MED, so if you are going to be running one of these, guys, please be responsible. Don't point blank someone with one of these, because I promise you it's not going to be fun for you or them, guaranteed. So yeah, just don't do it. But otherwise, awesome little weapon. Internally, like I said, there's not a whole lot I can say. It is 100% caging works. Externally, it's had a whole lot done to it, and well, it is one seriously striking, attractive little weapon. So that being said, guys, that pretty much brings this video down to a close. We'll see you guys in the next video. As always, stay tuned, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, keep us going, and of course, we'll see you guys in the next video. So as always, guys, I'm Section. Stay classy, and above all, call those hits. We'll see you guys in the next video.